welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is Johnny K. Fry C. Numb.
Would you pass the K. Fry C, Mark? Come on.
We got some K. Fry C. You want some? Hey, what do you want? Dark, light? What would you like, Johnny Numb?
Wing.
Yeah.
I forget what he said, damn it.
Leg? I think he said, yeah, give me a leg. With his breathy, Texas accent in there. I gotta tell you, so I'm not trying to promote my stuff, because whatever, but we've been talking about doing this for a movie for a while, and I wrote an article for Rotten Tomatoes about the Lincoln Lawyer and how that kicked off the McConaissance. And you watch Lincoln Lawyer, and I think it's excellent. I love the cinematography. It's gritty. I think McConaughey is perfectly as this sort of slimy lawyer. I think he's not slimy. He's slimy, but he's not slimy, yada yada. But that kicked off with Lincoln Lawyer, and then it comes to Killer Joe. And we're just full swing McConaissance. And this NC-17 rated, William Friedkin directed, Caleb Deschanel shot, 6-time Oscar nominee Caleb Deschanel shot in 20 days. The actors picked their own wardrobes in this movie. Friedkin said that the casting gods shone on him for this movie. And I've long said it that, everyone says this in Hollywood. They should have won for this. And I think that McConaughey is very good in Dallas Buyers Club. But this role in Killer Joe, I think, is his finest. Interstellar gets all the splash. But I think this might be, for me, his finest work. Because he oozes menace without ever acting like he's oozing menace. There's no tough guy strut to him. There's no... when we're first introduced to him, we see his leg, we see his back, we see his hair, we see his glasses, we see his back, then we get him, and he's just such a menacing... You believe everything that comes out of him, but you never see a swagger. You never see... It's not like... He's not trying on screen. This is an effortless performance that Friedkin shot in 2 to 3 takes at a time. They only did 2 or 3 takes on this movie. And when you learn that, this is such an effortlessly great performance, but I want to say before we go on, this is Juno Temple's movie. She is... Oh my
God, yes. Yeah.
Everyone else is great. Thomas Haden Church, great. Gina Gershon, great. Emile Hirsch, wonderful. But man, she had her brother film her 10-year-old brother film an audition tape. And then she comes in and meets Friedkin and just nailed this movie. And it's just a ballsy, grimy... Friedkin called it they shot grab ass, on location, dirty movie, and it's based on Tracy Letts' play, but I adore it, and I'm glad you recommended it.
Yeah, Mark. No,
sorry, I just talked in 20 minutes.
How do I follow that up? Yeah. No, it's all the stuff you just said, and so what you were saying about McConaughey in particular, I think what you're getting at is he's never winking at the camera. Never. He's never swaggering, like you said. But in the more darkly comedic moments, and there are a lot in this movie, he doesn't lean in close and be like, hey, yeah, we're just funning. There's a really it's deadly serious at a lot of points, but then it's also really funny, often at the same time. As like I was saying to you before we got on, you started recording, I was like, the worse this movie gets, the funnier it gets. Yes. In a strange way, and I don't quite know how to rationalize that or reconcile that, because the movie just gets so damn dark, and
everyone gets played. Rex plays everybody.
Yeah, everybody is basically getting effed in this movie. So in one way or another, and the guy whose face you never see is the one behind it all, basically.
Stupid Rex. He incepted Emile Hirsch. He got Thomas Haden Church into it. Gina Gershon was already... I'm saying all their names. We got Chris, Dottie, Ansel, Charla. I got all their names. But I gotta tell you, the cast of this is so good. Gina Gershon, they wanted her to be in the play, but she didn't want to do this 8 times a week, so she said no. You have Thomas Haden Church and McConaughey from Texas. Emile Hirsch just plays such a good dirtbag in this. And just everything about it. The location shoot, it just plays... just so, grimy and gritty. And as you said, it gets... Okay, Johnny Numb, you're at home and you're watching the finale of this film with the chicken wing, Gina Gershon, McConaughey, her face Gershon's face is just busted. People are bleeding. Killer Joe is just... there's just chicken grease everywhere. You learn what Rex has done. People walk in to this, and it's just you watching this movie. 10 people walk in after going bowling, and they sit down with you and just watch this ending. They're going to be like, Johnny, you're not right. Like, this is, what are you doing? But it's such, right? It's such a, this is great because it's part of our feel good series.
Yeah.
But I think it's hilarious. And at the end, when McConaughey learns about his baby and he's like, yes, it just builds to just insanity, and it's glorious. And there's just bloody people all over the place. And I love this movie. I love Killer Joe.
And that's it. And I feel like that's the first time in the movie where you see him through all this mess he's been dragged through. Yes. It's the first time you see him genuinely appears happy, but maybe that's just his insanity coming out at the same time, because Dottie's standing there with a gun to his face, and she's just shot Chris, she just shot Ansel, Charlotte's cowering in the corner. Everything is going to hell, and
oh man,
there he is with his arms outstretched, like, I'm gonna be a daddy almost. It's just,
it's so great. We're gonna get married.
Crazy. Yeah, like
he's gonna, and it's really like poor Juno Temple in this movie. I mean, Dottie knows exactly what's going on, so I guess whatever. Johnny, you want to tell people what this movie's about? Do you want to do it before we dive in?
Okay, basically, Chris, played by Emile Hirsch, is a screw-up of the highest order.
Punches his mom a lot.
He punches his mom, or throws her up against the refrigerator, and he's in some local mob guys, I guess, for some money. He owes them $6,000. Okay, and he does fuzzy math because he's like, okay, well, mom has a $50,000 insurance policy. I'm going to hire Joe Cooper, who's a detective, but he moonlights as a killer on the side, to kill the mom and cash in the insurance policy, which is supposedly being left to Dottie.
Yeah.
So, and I was just thinking about this before we started talking, but the math in this movie makes no sense.
None.
It makes sense at the end, but the fact that Chris, okay, he needs to pay off these guys for $6,000, otherwise they're going to kill him. Well, Killer Joe, he thinks, is going to cost $20,000 to employ as a killer, and then it turns out Killer Joe wants $25,000. So already you're operating at this weird loss angle here, which Chris is trying to. Chris is like, oh well, I'm gonna make a deal with him. He can get a cut of the insurance payout, after mom gets killed, and then it just spirals out from there. Basically, it's Chris trying to hire Killer Joe to do this task. He ropes everyone in his family in, or the family implicates themselves in other ways. Rex is like the sun that this movie orbits around, basically.
Yeah.
Even though he's only like in 3 scenes and you never hear him say anything or you never see his face, but he is the character that sets everything in motion and is responsible for everything that happens. It's pretty funny.
Oh, it's beautiful. And it ends with one of the most gnarly finales. I mean, Hollywood's golden boy with a chicken wing in his hand, with Gina Gershon pretending to have fellatio for while he just yells, while a beat up Emile Hirsch is bleeding. Thomas Haden Church is just going along with it because he's mad that he found out that his wife Charla is cheating on him with Rex, so he's just going along with that. Yep, that's fine. I don't see anything. Just going along with that. Then you got Dottie, Dottie's a really interesting character in the way that she's present, and she remembers that her mom tried to kill her. She knows about the plot to kill her mom. She knows that Charla has a handsome boyfriend. She knows that Joe is coming over for dinner. What did she say about his eyes? His eyes made her sad when she's talking about that.
Yeah, she said, "Your eyes hurt."
Yeah, your eyes hurt. She knows exactly what's going on, which is quite interesting. And his eyes hurt. She practices her kung fu. She knows exactly what's going on. Oh man, it's an interesting character.
You know what? And I came out this time after watching it this time around. I was like, Dottie is the one actually good character in this movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one character who you could say she keeps talking about pure love or true love or whatever, and about her fat boyfriend from third grade, Marshall, who she never actually spent time alone with, but it's like he loved me with true love or something.
Yeah.
With pure love, and I'm just like, she's a good character. She knows what's going on. She's a good character, but she's almost presented kind of as not savant-like, but I don't want to say Forrest Gump-like, but just kind of like you can tell that she has some neurological issues because she seems kind of stuck in kind of a childlike state.
Yeah, and that makes sense, right? If you think about it, her mom was apparently an abusive drunk who tried to kill her. Ansel is, I don't think he's abusive, but he's just an idiot, right? He's just come home, get me my beer, get me my bush, while Gina Gershon drinks her Budweiser. Her brother's squirrely as heck, so she seems to have really retreated into herself and gone into her own world.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But yeah, you're right. Like, she's a very interesting character, and I think Juno Temple plays her where a lot of, like, she goes all for it, literally, and then she does this excellent balance of, like you said, like, what's lack of a better word, savant, but then she's also really present.
Yeah.
But is that like does she act that way to, like, self-defense? It's just there's a lot of, I guess if you want to look into these family dynamics, I said that really weird. Family dynamics, could. But, man, it's just another testament to Tracy Letts. And I want to go watch Bug right now, because that's another Friedkin Tracy Letts adaptation.
My gosh, Mark, and that's another feel-good movie.
Yes, it is. Good feel-good hotel picture, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, Tracy Letts...
Two people falling in love with a lot of aluminum foil thrown into the mix.
Oh, man. Blood and... Oh, gosh. But I just... it's... I don't know. He wrote it in 93, and it took such a long... Like, I don't know. It took a really long road to the screen. And this movie's PG... Okay, this movie's NC-17. Which... Do you understand why?
I'm probably pretty sure it's due to some of the frontal nudity you see, and probably mostly due to the infamous chicken fellatio, which is acted out like a porno movie, I would say.
Yeah.
It's done, though it's funny because Friedkin uses static shots, not handheld. He's not fetishizing that scene. He's just like letting his camera sit and focus, like usually in the characters are like fully in frame, and it's very odd. You're just kind of sitting there passive, like Ansel watching it a bit. It's just kind of like you're stuck waiting for this thing to end. So, but the way Matthew McConaughey just fetishizes the chicken wing as his penis is just, and
grab my butt.
Yeah, exactly. And you think about the skin flaking off of the chicken, and there's all sorts of connotations there. So I'm thinking it's that chicken scene that probably, it's just the bizarre sexual nature of that scene that probably the MPO is like, this deviancy will not stand. So,
I love that you said that about the static shots, which I felt when I first watched it, I briefly knew that it was based off of a play. I didn't know Tracy Letts' play. I've learned a lot about this in research. But the way Friedkin does and Caleb Deschanel frame this, and actually one of the, like, a early movie to shoot on digital, they shot on Alexa with this. Friedkin said it was his first usage of digital as opposed to film, and on the commentary I had to listen to Friedkin talk about color grading for about 15 minutes. It's like, yo, Friedkin, come on, Friedkin.
I can see he's a very technical guy, yeah.
And so you're right, though. The way that he shoots it is very dispassionate, and it's almost like you're watching it as a member in a playhouse, almost in a small 8-row playhouse with the I don't know, theater. I guess that's a better word. In a theater, and you're just watching this shot. And I think sometimes that might be more, like, if you think about the violent scenes in history that a lot of people think about, where like Reservoir Dogs, the ear cutting, that's like from the distance, and the dancing, the wide shots, it does cut in, but it's so dispassionate, it's almost more controversial, because it's not quick cuts, it's not sexy, it's just watch this.
Well, You know what, Mark? A good comparison, maybe, but not to the level. Killer Joe doesn't go to the level this does. But to think about the 9-minute tunnel scene in Irreversible,
Oof.
where you can't look away. It's one of the most difficult sequences to watch in film history, as far as I'm concerned. But it's kind of like I think I could buy that Friedkin was probably going for a similar thing, whether consciously or unconsciously, with his decision to do that. Yeah,
you're 100% right, and just showing that, like the camera's watching, you're just watching. There's no breath, like there's no close up of ears. I don't know why there'd be a close up of an ear. I don't know. Don't ask me. But it's like, there's just, you could have played that shot 100 different ways. And I think the way Friedkin did it was perfect. But yeah, I guess if you're the MPAA, you're going, whoa, what is this? But yeah, also Friedkin talked about 20 minutes. But we made these cuts and then these cuts. He's like, and I know movies that are more violent than this. But
yeah.
And listen,
just imagine him saying that too.
Yeah. He's like, I mean, listen, Jonny Numb, Dragon Cost Concrete features some wildly violent moments and some very dispassionate moments. But this one, the way they filmed it and the way they shot it, I mean, listen, like the nudity and the chicken and the murder and the blood, it's a movie that revels, and it has to. This movie can't ring as inauthentic, but it revels in the grossness. It revels in the world, and I think it has to be that way. And I know it hit NC-17, but this movie probably wouldn't have made much money as R-rated either.
I doubt it. It would have been really just a small art house circuit kind of thing. Yeah.
I mean, imagine How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days fan. Like, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Totally fine movie. Fool's Gold, Wedding Planner. Those fans going in to watch Killer Joe. Mm-hmm. That's a recipe for an F cinema score right there.
Well, I was going to say, if you trimmed it down to an R rating and released it to multiplexes, can you imagine the female fans just like clearing out of the theater in droves and just or even male fans, even people who liked him in Interstellar or some of his more serious stuff, or Amistad. It's like, oh my god, this doesn't please either McConaughey demographic. It's very much its own thing. Yeah.
And that's why I've been championing it for a decade now. I have been championing I've been a champion of this movie, Jonny Numb. I've been champagning this movie for.
You're a champagne to me, Mark.
Yeah. Listen. I want to see what you think about this. And you and I watch a lot of horror movies, and we watch a lot of heavier type films. I think there is a time for a horror movie to be funny and glossy. I mean, I love Werewolves Within, but it's a lot of digital camera work. It's a lot of humor. There's no need for it to be gross and glossy. But I think this movie nails. I mean, you have Friedkin and Caleb Deschanel and Matthew McConaughey and Gina Gershon and Thomas Haden Church and Juno Temple and Emile Hirsch. That's a sick cast. And I mean, even the production designer works. The production, I took some notes here. Francisco Giacomo, he had done like Expendables, Rocky, Rambo. He got a start in Cabin Fever. So I mean, that's a good looking little grimy movie.
Well, and I was going to say, Mark, Tyler Bates did the music for this, and he's Mr. Hollywood, he's worked with rock stars and stuff like that. He did the score to Dawn of the Dead, the remix. So I'm like, he's been around too, even at that point. Yeah.
Well, I have a funny story for you. So, Friedkin, when he had this movie started, and he had a score that was very like, like, I am a man of constant sorrow, just very like Texas twang, a lot of over the top country. Yeah. And a producer listened to it and said, "This is not right, William. This is not. We can't do this. This betrays the tone of the movie." So they rearranged the songs and they brought in Tyler Bates. This producer had major sway, by the way, to bring in Tyler Bates.
Okay.
And Friedkin said, "Listen, man, I just want a minimal score." And Tyler's like, "That's what I always try to do." He's like, "People make me. I have to make all these bombastic scores, but I just want to make one of these." So it was a really nice match, because Tyler had always wanted to make a score like this. But since Tyler was known for Dawn of the Dead guy and other, what, 300, I believe? Bigger.
Well, yeah, I think one of my favorite scores by him is probably Ty West's The Sacrament, actually. He scored that too.
Oh, wow, The Sacrament.
Yeah, that's a feel-good movie.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a cult classic. Oh! Excuse me while I run around my room, pumping my fists in the air with that horrible line.
But you're right, Mark. He's like Mr. Hollywood. He's worked with Zack Snyder a couple times, like you said, yeah.
This movie had... I mean, it's Friedkin, right? And Friedkin is coming off of Bug. I mean, he had a couple bombs with, like Blue Chips, The Hunted, which... The Hunted's fine. But yeah, I mean, this movie is when he could pull these names. And McConaughey, he read the script and threw it away. And, and eventually his friends were like, yo, this is Tracy Letts. Like, this is a comedy. Read it again. So he read it again and got in the mindset of it. And he got really into it. And it just, I mean, yeah, Juno Temple, what's wild is I just learned this watching Ted Lasso. She's British. I had no clue. And Juno, what?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if she was British or Australian, so yeah.
I was watching Ted Lasso, and I was like, man, she has a great British accent.
Mm-hmm.
And then Megan, my wife, researched it. She's like, Mark, she is. I'm like, what? No! Like, no, what? Blew my mind. But I guess going back to the gritty, grimy aspect of this, nothing in it really rings faux gritty, which I know that sounds weird, but there are movies that you and I have watched, Jonny Numb, that are very faux gritty.
Oh yeah,
they don't ring as this one. Like, okay, we both love VFW, but VFW and Killer Joe are both gritty and grimy for totally different reasons. One is futuristic, beat down, like almost post-apocalyptic, gritty, grimy movie, but it's very gritty. It's just made gritty. Killer Joe is gritty, but it's filmed in real locations, and it's not treated as gritty, grimy. It's there, if that makes sense. I wish I could explain this better.
Well, I think something you're getting at, Mark, is a lot of, in the wake of Grindhouse, a lot of filmmakers were like, oh, I'm going to add a bunch of aged-down effects to my movie, to make it look all dirty or grimy or jump cutty or whatever, but that's faux dirt, that's faux grime. Whereas with something like this, Friedkin doesn't do a lot of weird effects with the camera. He's just kind of, like you said, he's filming these locations and he's kind of just letting all the atmosphere come out of the locations themselves rather than try to like slap a layer of fake dirt on things. It doesn't have to be any dirtier than it is because we get the feeling that things are dirty. It's a frickin' trailer park. There's one desolate location after another, and just the characters ooze this dead-end sleaziness that just kind of, all of this stuff starts coming out to the point where you feel like you can smell this movie as it's going along,
Man, if they had smell-o-vision at Alamo Drafthouse, you could just get the chicken in there and just pipe in that smell.
I was going to say, okay, now scratch on Charlot's bloody nose. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Do I smell iron? What is that?
It smells like a handful of pennies. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Hey, Jonny Numb, so how about this? Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we will talk more Killer Joe. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And Johnny, one thing we haven't covered on, I know this is the feel-good series. We talk about Elle. We talk about Super Dark Times. Woo! Samurai Swords. We've really covered some brutal films that we love, and we've had a great time talking about them. But I think Killer Joe, and what we haven't really expanded upon, is the sense of humor in this movie.
Yes.
Are there some funny moments that ring out to you that just made you laugh while watching this?
Oh my gosh! Now that you put me on the spot. Well, the one moment that makes me laugh every time is the moment where they're in the lawyer's office, Charla and Ansel. Ansel obviously is not accustomed to wearing a suit and tie. He's wearing a trucker hat with an American flag on it. And Charla notices like a stray thread on the shoulder of his suit. So she reaches over, pulls it, and the top of his sleeve falls down.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And then the lawyer walks in and just is like, it's just played off like it's nothing. And I kind of love that. It's just very deadpan, I think.
And that's a credit, I think, to Gershon and Thomas Haden Church. I mean, they are just hilarious in this movie and how they underplay, but they're not super underplayed. I mean, Gershon does. I mean, Gershon, when she's laughing, when she's on the phone talking to Rex, that laugh, and she's like, I gotta develop. She has pictures of Rex that come back later, but her laugh though, like just this creepiest laugh I've ever heard. It's just, oh man, there's just the weirdest. What did they say? There's a line in the movie, like, you're going to be fumigating the gates of hell. Isn't that what they said?
Yeah, when you're done fumigating the gates of hell. It's Ansel says that to Charla after they've had the encounter with Chris, when they learn that Dottie's not the beneficiary, and basically everything is screwed up. You know what a moment I like that's just so absurd, Mark, is near the end. It's when Ansel and Charla are coming back from the funeral. They've brought the K for IC. They're sitting down, and Joe walks out of, I guess, Dottie's room, and Ansel just says, matter of factly, "Hi, Joe, want a beer?" It's like Joe's living in this trailer, in this totally messed up situation, and it's at this point where it's almost like a freaking redneck sitcom where Ansel and Charla are coming in. It's like, oh, hey, Joe's here. Joe's here with our
oh god,
probably way too young for him, even if she were normal, daughter. So yeah, just the absurdity of that at that point was just like, yeah.
Hey Joe, want a beer? Like, oh yeah. I love the line where he first gets with Thomas when Emile Hirsch first comes to, I guess when Chris first comes to the trailer to tell Ansel about the health insurance or the life insurance and all that, and Chris goes to smoke some weed that Ansel has, and Ansel's like, yeah, sure, help yourself. He's like, what is this? It looks like oregano, paprika mixes. Who sold you this? And then Ansel goes, you did. He's like, I sold you this? And it's just, of course Chris sells horrible weed to people. Yeah. Of course when he does a rabbit farm, a skunk and something else get in there and things just get torn apart. Yeah. He's just the biggest, I don't know, and Ansel just goes along with it. Ansel has a job. Ansel. He has a job. He understands mufflers. He knows how to weld. He knows how to work machinery. Like, I know he's not the sharpest tool, but the guy really has an aptitude. I mean, he keeps a job. Yeah. It's just the weird. He's just, well, okay, Jonny Numb, who is Ansel? Like, who is this guy?
It's weird because he seems like he's kind of a bit of a doormat of a character. He does react to Chris, like, he smacks Chris around at a couple of points because, you often forget though that Ansel is Chris's dad because he gets treated with such disrespect all the time.
Yep.
that he doesn't exude that sense of paternal presence, I guess you could say.
They're drinking buddies, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, if he's buying weed from his son, I'm like, this guy has obviously, lost his self-respect a long time ago. But yeah, he's just kind of mysterious to me because he and Chris chum around like they're just like drinking buddies more than father and son, I think, to the point where, but they're united in their dislike of Adele, the mom, that that they have a good father-son chat at a strip club, and that's kind of what it takes for Ansel to be like, okay, he's like, at first this is murder, but then it's like he goes along with it because he's convinced that Chris is convinced of this insurance settlement. But I kind of see Ansel as kind of he kind of feels like a pawn in this whole thing more than Dottie even.
Yeah. He just all right, that's fine. And then he makes sure that Charla gets her money. He's just, squirrely dude. So squirrely.
I mean, when Dottie gets out a gun and she takes charge at the end of the movie too, so it's like,
oh, I love that scene.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just thinking about this movie in my head, which is terrible for podcasting. But yeah,
No, it's okay.
Chris is just such a dirtbag. Like, he goes and gambles his money away on racing. And then he gets beat up by the biker gang. That guy kind of likes him, though. Like, he's just such a weird character. And then I was thinking about Adele, the mom. We only really see her in a trunk and then getting burnt to a crisp. But they say nothing but negative things about her. I guess Dottie said that she tried to kill her, so she can't be the best lady on the planet. But it's interesting here. What's up?
Well, no, and I think Chris said something about how he ripped her off on an 8-ball of coke or something like that. So this whole family's involved with drugs and dirty dealings. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, he had coke, Chris did, and then Adele took it, and she went to Rex, and then Rex fixed her car, and then she drove home in a gold Cadillac running like a clock. So she stole Chris's coke to fix a car with Rex. Oh man! But these guys are such. You know what the problem is? When complete idiots tell you how terrible somebody else is, you're kind of wondering like, is it them or you? So I don't know. With Adele, she got pulverized here, and I guess she treated Rex terribly, and she treated Ansel terribly. But are they people who should be treated well? I mean, these are horrible. Not horrible. I think Ansel's totally happy just living his life. Working in the shop, coming home, getting a beer, eating some K-Fry-C, going to bed, doing the same thing over. There's a scene in the strip club that I think is one of Thomas Haden Church's best moments where he's watching one of the strippers and he just stares. And he gets lost in a way where it's almost admirable. Like, he gets lost just looking at this person. You could tell that he would be happy sitting there 8 hours a day, not having to pay money, but just watching that and turning off. Like, and I love that about him. I think that's such a great moment with Thomas Haden Church, and he sold me on that. And like, it's almost admirable how he can just switch off and chill, drink some Busch. It's interesting. He drinks his Busch, and Charla drinks Budweiser. It's another interesting touch. Maybe Busch is cheaper.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. That should be a data article, Mark.
And if you work at a pizza joint, you do not want to hire Charla. Oh my gosh, imagine that.
I think that's some pretty unsanitary pizza going out there, but yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. And then she just does it. She messes up with the black olives and then just gives the pizza to Dottie.
Dottie, yeah.
And I love the usage of the word supper. That makes me happy. I need money for supper. In the South, we don't say that. It's all dinner. But like when you go up north and out west a little bit, it's supper. Tuna casserole, right?
Yeah, yeah. I like tuna casserole. I do like tuna casserole.
I'm always down. Put some Frito-Lays on it.
Shit, yeah, man.
Put it in the oven. Finish it up with some Cincinnati chili. Have you ever had Cincinnati chili?
No. Please enlighten me.
So David Cross, you know David Cross.
Ward Wieners.
Yeah, Ward Wieners. He's from Cincinnati, and I guess it's Cincinnati chili is more like noodles with sauce. It's not the ground beef chili that a lot of people associate it with. Okay. So yeah, Cincinnati chili is an interesting thing.
Oh, all right.
Would Ansel eat Cincinnati chili?
Yeah. I think what Ansel would eat was, I forget what Ray Liotta talks about at the end of Goodfellas, but he's like, they gave me ketchup and egg noodles or something like that. I think Ansel would eat ketchup and egg noodles. Yeah. Yeah,
he wouldn't care as long as he's got a Busch.
He'd be happy. I mean, if it's making you happy, then what harm's being done?
When McConaughey breaks his TV, I felt so bad for Ansel because that's his prized possession. I think his TV.
Isn't he like, what the hell, man? Or something like that.
Oh, come on, man. Yeah. Why? Oh, that makes me Friedkin was talking about this, and he said that he didn't want to look at these characters like they were rubes. And I like that because I think there are ways of filming movies where the people are just dumb. Yeah. And then that is fueled by that. I mean, Chris he seems to be a weirdly charismatic guy, but he seems to be paying one person to pay the next, to pay the next, to pay the next, to pay the next. And so he just keeps failing. So then he gets more desperate. And then Ansel, he just wants to smoke weed and watch What is that? What does he watch?
He's watching monster truck rallies.
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that.
He just wants to watch monster truck rallies. So when he hears about it, he's like, all right, that's fine. So I don't think any of them. Do you think any of them are filmed as being dumb? I think they're more filmed as being humans. I think, not rubes.
No, I think. I that's a good observation, Mark, because I think there are movies where you're laughing. Well, you kind of are laughing at the misfortune of these characters in this movie, but
Ricks.
I think it takes a really smart writer, smart director, and smart cast to kind of get past those kind of cliche stereotypes of Cletus from The Simpsons or whatever. If you would have done that, this movie would have been miserable. It would have been a slog to get through because you're just watching stupid people being stupid. But the way Tracy Letts write, the way the script is written, and the way he sort of twists the knife every couple of minutes in terms of the plot and where it goes, you have these characters figuring it out, and by the time they've all figured it out, we're like, oh my god, well, we didn't figure it out ahead of these characters, so what does this say about us? We didn't see into the future to this point where Matthew McConaughey is breaking down the math at the kitchen table and how it doesn't make sense and getting all pissed off. I think maybe there's the key right there. Is just a bad way to handle this script would have been to just have it be telegraphed right from the start, to the point where you're just kind of waiting for the inevitable to happen. But this film manages to keep twisting things up and tangling them up to the point where it's like a frickin' knot that you don't want to look at by the end. And then Matthew McConaughey, over the course of 15 or 20 minutes of brilliant performance, is like untangling this knot and all the messed up stuff that's been happening, that's been wasting his time. And
that's what he's mad about.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, I'm never gonna get my money, so the retainer is now mine, and I'm gonna slaughter you all like hogs if you don't kill Chris. So it's.
I'm gonna put flame. I'm gonna put what's the word? I'm gonna put oh gosh, you put on charcoal if it's not catching you. I'm gonna put lighting fluid on your genitals, and I'm just gonna light them up. Yeah. That got back at her. There's malice permeating this film too, which with the scene with Dottie and Joe where she gets changed, she doesn't want to wear the dress, she has to go to the thrifty, but first Ansel has to get money for beer, which I love. But so he gets her the dress, she doesn't feel comfortable because she knows the drill, and then just hearing Joe say, you don't want to go try that on, you don't want to try it. He's just a horrible human, he's a murderer. But there's so much dread that permeates these characters, and just watching them go towards where they're going, it's really neat. And I guess what Friedkin does in this movie is something I love about, Jeff Nichols, what he does in Take Shelter, or Shotgun Stories, where he gives the Midwest, like rural areas, the respect. I mean, it's not like Joe Dirt everywhere. I like that they showcase this world, and I don't know, I know I just went totally off the rails here, but I gotta tell you, I just love, I don't know. And you know what here interesting? Scott Glenn played Joe on stage, and I think that's a very inspired choice right there.
You know what, Mark? I was actually going to bring that up, and I think, did Amanda Plummer play Dottie?
Yeah, that's good casting.
And part of me was like, oh, what I would give to go back in time and see a performance of that, man.
And 2018, in the last few years, they had a revival in the UK, and Orlando Bloom played Joe. And as much of a fan I am of Bloom, I read several reviews that said that he was trying.
Okay.
As much as I like him, and I wasn't there, so I can't say anything, that's why I love McConaughey so much, is there's no trying in his performance. He just has that malice.
Yeah.
It's all right. This is random. I'm gonna give you 5 actors.
Okay.
5 totally different actors, and you got to rank them about who would be the best Joe.
Sure.
All right, you ready for this?
Yep.
Okay. Dolph Lundgren.
Okay.
Vince Vaughn. Denzel Washington. Michael Pena or Henry Golding.
Oh wow. Wow. Were these picked out with a randomizer, Mark?
Yes, they were.
Did you put thought into this? Okay.
Well, I didn't want to go. I just want to give you something. I wanted to give you something to work with. And I know we both love Pena, so we had to do it.
Okay, you know what? You're saying who would be the best, not who I would most like to see play Killer Joe. You know what? I feel like Denzel does not go crazy enough in movies. I mean, I think that's why I respond so much to his performance in Training Day. Even though he's like basically climbing the walls and the ceiling with that movie. But I love seeing that side of him come out. So I would love to see Denzel play Killer Joe. I would put him first, actually.
Yeah, because at the end when he's losing it, and then the way he talks to Ethan Hawke, just that control he has of a room.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, imagine that ending. Yes!
And you know what? Since you brought it up, you know what? I would put Henry Golding second. The stuff I've seen him in, I haven't seen Snake Eyes, but A Simple Favor, Last Christmas. You know, he plays this good, handsome romantic lead very well, and I like that about him. So I would be interested, you know, not unlike McConaughey and all of the rom-coms he did prior to Killer Joe. I was like, let's see Henry Golding go dark and do Killer Joe. So he would be second.
All right.
You know,
Vaughn, Pena, or Lundgren?
I liked Lundgren. You know, I haven't seen a lot of his movies, and I'll be booted off the show permanently for saying that. But
and thank you for listening to Movies, Films, and Flicks.
This is the last episode with Jonny Numb.
Yeah.
But you know, I liked his character in The Expendables. You know, so I think he has some range, and you know, he had some range in Aquaman as well. So, and I think, you know, he's formidable in his physical build. But I think he could use that and rein that in and pull off some of the nuances of Killer Joe, because a lot of McConaughey's performance is that monotone and a lot of just like subtle body language. Mm-hmm. Before that last 20 minutes, that's mostly what his performance is just really towing the line of not showing too much emotion, you know.
So just being completely annoyed by these idiots and getting roped in with them.
Yeah. It's basically, so, okay, I did all this. The insurance payout's not happening. Okay, the only thing I got here is Dottie, and okay, I own Dottie now. I possess her. I possess her in full. I'm cashing in the retainer. So, Wow. You know, I will go with Michael Pena as number 4, just due to the wild card factor with him. Of course, we love Luis from Ant-Man, and.
His character from Observe and Report. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
I have not. Should I?
Just type in Michael Pena. I'm going to get you high.
Okay.
Observe and Report, and that's all you need to see.
Okay. All right.
It's dark. It's wildly dark, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. It's a bleak film. Observe and Report.
That's interesting because it was totally marketed as like a Todd Phillipsian comedy. So
I think it got an F Cinema score because it is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay. Like a very low, because people watched it and it's almost unbearable at times how nasty it is.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and then Vince Vaughn last.
Well, you know, here's the thing with Vince Vaughn. Maybe, and I don't know if you've seen this one or not. Back in '98, I think he did this movie with Joaquin Phoenix called Clay Pigeons.
Yes.
And it's not a good movie. It's not for either one of those actors, but he was basically kind of playing the Killer Joe, not Killer Joe, but he's kind of playing a Killer Joe-esque character in that movie. So I feel like the only reason I'm putting him at the bottom, it's not that I think he wouldn't be a good Killer Joe, because I think he would be, but I feel like he's kind of already played that character, so he'd kind of be repeating himself if he went down that path. But hey, if he did it on Broadway or something in the future, I would definitely try and make my way out to see it. So
I like it. And I gotta say, Snake Eyes, it's an action movie with wildly, horribly filmed action. Aaron Neuwirth, he writes for Relive Entertainment. I was chatting to him about it just to talk. And he's like, yeah, that action went through multiple... I don't like hating on things, but watching that movie, it has Iko Uwais in it, and Peter Mensah, and Andrew Koji, and these actors who have done spectacular action before. Yeah. And as the action scene's about to start, it goes... like shoots all over the place. So there's never 2 moments of choreography filmed together. Ugh. And you're just thinking, I have seen Iko Uwais throw 40 strikes without a cut before. Why not just set up the camera? And it was a stylistic choice. So that's why I don't really feel horribly about saying I do not like the action. It wasn't because they were limited. It wasn't because of injuries. It wasn't because of budget. It was a choice that was made. So I feel fine saying that the action in the movie's bad. But I will say, though, that whenever Golding is allowed to run or slide or punch or swing a sword, for the 3 seconds that he does it, he looks like an action hero. He really does. And when I put my thoughts out about it, my wife and I were watching this Andrew Koji, and the dude is, when during his fights that you can see for 1/12 of a second, he really handles himself well. So it's annoying, but you also like the actors in it, and you want to promote them more, so then you want to say you hate the movie, but it's, man, I would love to see a better Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is fun. I like the plot. But I would love to see a camera, I would love to see Friedkin directed. Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Snake Eyes. Just leave a camera there and shoot it. Just give me that. I don't need all these cuts. Blech. Sorry, I just had to vent.
You know what? While we're on this topic, William Friedkin should work with Samara Weaving next.
Whoa. Yeah.
Find something for her to do, because I like her when I see her, and she seems like a great person, but I don't like a lot of her movies, and that upsets me for some reason. I'm like, and when I asked you how is she in Snake Eyes, and you're like, yeah. It wasn't her fault, but it was like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
Whenever she gets a fight, she starts shooting a gun, then they cut away. You're like, what? Okay. And her dialogue is very ADR'd. It's odd. Okay. And I mean, when she first got started too, you had Babysitter. She was sort of this Guns Akimbo, which like just this kind of for lack of a better word, like blonde bombshell was also kind of crazy, I guess. But you watch her in 3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. I don't know if you watched that.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, but she is in it, and she's real mousy and kind of nerdy. And probably beaten because that guy's horrible. But that's seeing her performance in that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like she's got range in this outside of that box that she's been put into.
That's true. And I did like her in the new Bill and Ted movie.
Yeah,
I did enjoy the daughters in that film. I think they were really, really well cast. Yeah.
Yeah, Friedkin movie with Samara Weaving. So Friedkin comes back. He's making a movie called The Death in the Jet Ski Sales Room. All right? It's about jet ski salespeople who live in Jersey. This is based on a stage play by Tracy Letts.
Of course.
It was huge in Germany. They loved the humor out there. It had a decent run here, but I think it went over a lot of American critics' heads. Europe loved it. It actually had a really long run in Australia and Japan too.
It won the prize for a certain regard at Cannes.
It's all right. So then he finally gets some money, right? A24 says you can make the murder in a jet ski sales room. You have Sam Weaving. Who are 4 other people, that actors you love that you would want to see in it?
Oh wow. Kiernan Shipka would be one.
Whoa. Yeah.
I would. Who are the actors I love?
It's a weird question.
It is a weird question. Joaquin Phoenix.
Whoa.
Put him in there in a career resurrection role. Bring James Woods in.
Whoa.
That's a kind.
He could do Friedkin.
Choice. Oh yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't actually. But is that 3 or 4?
You have 4 right now.
4.
Because you have Sam Weaving.
Yeah.
You have Shipka. You have James Woods. You have
Joaquin
Phoenix. And who's your 5th?
Ooh. I love her too. Addison Timlin.
Oh, Addison Timlin.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of small indie flicks like Little Sister and Like Me. If you haven't seen these movies, check them out, please. She's fantastic.
Well, if you ever want to talk about the one she did with Anton Yelchin that was directed by Stephen Sommers.
Oh, did Odd Thomas?
Yeah, Odd Thomas.
Was she in that? I didn't know she was in that.
Yeah, she's in it.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched that one. I'll have to check it out now.
Okay, I'm going to give you my 5.
Okay, go ahead.
Sam Weaving, Sung Kang from the Fast and Furious franchise.
Okay.
Gotta have Sung Kang. I like your Shipka a lot. That's very inspired. But who else?
Blackcoat's daughter in Mad Men.
Yeah, who else do I... Okay, so that... You know what? Put Shipka in there, too, because that's really inspired. I'm stealing from you, and I don't care.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so we got that. Then let's do Iko Ue. Because whenever... I'm serious. When he's on screen, there should be a rule in this world that when Iko Ue pops up in a movie for the first time on any screen in the world, everyone just has to pick somebody up and run around the theater cheering Iko Ue.
Mark, can I say something really quick to get it off my chest?
Yeah.
Sort of similar to your complaint with Snake Eyes. Iko Ue was in that movie Stuber, and they made like totally... You have this awesome guy who can do all this awesome physical action, and what do? You put him in 3 scenes, and he doesn't even get to show off his stuff. That is like... You stupid Americans! What were you doing with this movie? Oh, I know it was a vehicle for Dave Bautista and Kumail, but I mean, come on, man.
That's one of my least favorite movies of recent memory because it's Bautista saying something, and then Kumail just says, "Well, I don't know about that. That's inappropriate." And then that's the entire movie.
Well, and then they waste Karen Gillan in that film too, which is also unforgivable. So anyway.
Oh wait, actually, take out Shipka. Wait, no, Gillan just had a big hit. So wait.
No, you can use...
Put Gillan in, and then Iko Ue, and then to finish it up, Scott Adkins.
Okay.
So Sam Weaving...
Hardcore, man.
Sam Weaving, Karen Gillan...
Sun
Kang, Iko Ue, and Scott Adkins.
These are 2 very different jet ski murder mysteries. Yeah.
I gotta make a picture for this. If you don't, send me your names later on, so I just remember them. I should have written it down, but you'll hear the typing when I do it.
No. I'm writing them down right now. While I'm still.
I'm gonna make a little graphic that I think will be hilarious. In the Death in a Jet Ski Sales Room, directed by Friedkin, and this is our cast.
I think Friedkin will come back to film for this. I think it's that good of an idea. Yeah.
Man. I don't know what's going to happen in this movie, but they better have some K-Fry C in it. Oh, gosh.
Absolutely.
I just got to say, I know I kicked off this episode with just an epic rant, but I think that's because, like Mitch Hedberg says, that when he holds his microphone, he kind of snips it off and he lets it go, a whole bunch of jokes come out at once.
Yeah.
That's like it's better than a hose. I like his gag better. But yeah, that's what this movie has been for me, because Jonny Numb, we can't recommend this film to everybody. It's like we can't recommend, if you're a Sandler fan, it's really hard to recommend Uncut Gems to somebody. So if you're like, man, and listen, I think Sandler films, I watch them all because I think they're very relaxing, and I came up with my own out of love of Sandler because I'm just I think his movies, you can just sit on the couch, turn off, and it's just a nice property to watch. It's comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
But Uncut Gems is not. So you just can't recommend it. So Killer Joe, for me, it's really hard to recommend to non-cinephiles. You can't. Like, am I crazy here, Jonny Numb?
No, and I think that's maybe another reason why I think sometimes the MPAA goes after stuff, and it's something that just like Cronenberg's Crash, for example. That's a feel good movie.
I'm not recommending that got Criterion, didn't it?
Yeah, recently. Yeah. Or something like this one's really obscure, but Jennifer Lynch's movie Chained, which got threatened with a NC-17, and that was like a movie really nobody saw once it got released. But I think when they see stuff that goes against the status quo in terms of what we're accustomed to, in terms of sex or violence, and how it's depicted in film, I think that's what raises their hackles a bit. And that's what winds up getting threatened with the NC-17 rating. And those are the films like Killer Joe that don't back down from taking on that. Killer Joe took that, I think, as sort of a badge of approval, kind of, and that's why they ran with it theatrically. Well, we're not Friedkin, and Friedkin's the type of guy who I don't see saying, "Oh, well, I made the frickin' Exorcist. I'm not going to cut down this movie when I'm in my 70s." It's like if you like it, you like it. If you don't, kind of thing.
It's great you said that too, because he never wants to make a movie where you watch it. And so I watched Snake Eyes, and I just thought, it was like bad action, but it was fine. and I kind of forgot about it. Friedkin never wants to make that. He's like, if you watch Killer Joe and you hate it, obviously I'm not a fan of that because I want you to like it, but at least you had a reaction to it. You had a visceral, angry, I hate this movie reaction. I've never written a review before, but I'm going to write one about how much I hate this movie. He wants that. And that's what I guess what I like about a lot of directors. I think, I know sometimes people complain nowadays about content and how content is king and how there are movies being released at an astounding rate. And a lot of them are not going to get the reaction of Killer Joe. So it's interesting where I don't think I could deal with all movies like Killer Joe all the time. Movies that I hate or love, where I have visceral reactions. Like I need a gunpowder milkshake. I need a Snake Eyes. I need a Jolt. I need a Great White. Just to watch. But I love movies like this, and I love movies that we've talked about in our Feel Good series because they really do elicit emotions, and they do. Movies like this, Jonny Numb, make you think outside the pocket. You watch Elle, and if you thought about it at a base level, you might hate it. But if you understand Verhoeven, if you understand why he shot it overseas, if you understand the humor of it, the difference in character, then I think you really love it. And you know what's interesting? This movie actually received some decent accolades, or was nominated. It was nominated for a Golden Lion and Golden Mouse in Venice. In Toronto, they gave Gina Gershon the Best Supporting Actress.
Wow.
It was up for the nominated for Grand Prix, Belgian Film Critics Association. It was up for Saturn Awards, Best Independent Spirit Awards. So, I mean, people did like it, but just not. But it seems like the people who like it were the people you expected to like it. If that
right. People like us.
Yeah, exactly. Because we get it. There's humor to this movie. But we also, I don't know. And that's fine, but some people would watch Killer Joe and say it's an abomination. You and I watch it and think it's funny because we get it.
Yeah.
But that's why it's another movie that's hard to recommend. Like, hey guys, watch Killer Joe.
Well, and I think I was just thinking back to something like Elle or The House That Jack Built or Dragged Across Concrete stuff.
The House That Jack Built. There's a skin wallet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. I mean, it's like I think about these movies and how it's more like they put you in these muddy scenarios, and I like films, like I said, where the lines between good and bad are not clearly drawn. I think it's really interesting. I mean, especially Dragged Across Concrete, I think brings up a lot of complaints and problems that we're looking at in, not to get on my soapbox here, like that we're looking at in American culture and society, but it doesn't give you any answers. It just presents all this stuff for 2.5 hours, and at the end of it, you're kind of left to make your own decision about it. And some, like you said, I like to chillax with Bridesmaids every once in a while because that's such a good palate cleanser of a movie, and it makes me feel good to watch it. Love Kristen Wiig, stuff like that. I'd love to sit and watch something that I can just enjoy. But then I like to watch this stuff that makes me think a little bit and makes me question, because these are the movies where I could write probably pages and pages of interpretation about them because there's so many different ways you could approach them from. So.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
You just made me think about Bully.
Oh, we got to do Bully next.
Oh.
No, I won't hold you to that, Mark.
No, I mean, if you want to. I mean, that movie has affected me. It really has. So it might actually be worth exploring, because I watched that movie when it came out, and it just like kids and abuse, and it's based on a true story. And I mean, Larry Clark is also very exploitative of his kids that he films.
Yes, he is.
So, I think it's a subject where, well, let me think about it. But because do we want to be in a Bully headspace again? Do I want to live in Bully for a while? That's just what I got to think about.
No, I know what you mean. I actually have it on DVD, but I will tell you honestly, I go years without watching it. So, yeah.
Nick Stahl.
Oh,
that movie.
Scary.
That's, you know what? If I had to put together a list of movies, performances that burnt into my memory, that just hurt me, I would put Nick Stahl, that performance, in top 5 easily.
Yeah.
Because it oozes wolf.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mark, sorry sorry to end it on a bad note there.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here. But Jonny Numb, hey, real quick, do you want to tell people where to read your stuff?
Yeah, sure. You can find my movie reviews at crashpalaceproductions.com, and I also co-host the Last Knock Horror podcast with the wonderful Billy Crash. And I haven't written anything in a while, but I have a couple things on the burner that I want to get to them soon. But I also write at thescreeningspace.com. There are a lot of wonderful people writing there, and it's all sorts of genres, television, you name it. So it's not just horror stuff there. There's a little something for everybody at the Screening Space. So that's all I got.
You just had an episode about Psycho Goreman, and you love it.
Oh man, it's one of the best horror movies of the year. Oh yeah. Totally, dude. Totally. Oh. Once again, Mark, here I am I'm an outlier. I hated that freaking movie.
Yeah. We'll save it for another time.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I think I'm leaning. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, I'm not in love with that movie either. It's one of those, I like the idea of it.
Well, and
they
I
I don't know.
Yeah. And I like the people behind it because they did like frickin' Father's Day and Manborg and all these low budget movies that I loved. And then they do this and The Void. And I'm like, what the hell happened to you guys? Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, those kids in that movie. I didn't know how to handle those kids in Psycho.
I didn't like either one of them. And the parents weren't much better either. So.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me. And I look forward to our next movie. Okay. But listen. Jonny Numb, he's an excellent writer. I'll share all this stuff, but if you haven't read his stuff, read it. Every time I read one of his reviews, I get jealous, and I just delete all my reviews, and I sit and I wallow in a state of despair that I'll never be the writer that Jonny Numb is. So you got to go read his stuff. He's an excellent writer, so go read his things at Screening Space and Crash Palace. And if they ever say no to your articles, which they probably won't, but yeah, send out MFF. You want to post something really weird that no one else will post? You know me, man. I'll put it up. So just let me know.
I will be in touch, Mark. Thank you. Cool.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, Jonny Numb.
Thank you.
All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Johnny K. Fry C. Numb, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.